this webinar. Thank you so much for all that is joining us together in this amazing webinar. Special thanks to AAPI for organizing this webinar dedicated to opportunities in the IT and BPM market in Philippines. Thank you also for the coordination of Miguel Corais that again had amazing success on organizing and coordinating part of the event and the logistics. And also for the speakers, I begin with a good morning, but our colleagues in Philippines, it's a good afternoon or good evening. They are joining us with two presentations. Thank you, Edita, for joining us, and Celeste. Edita is representing Echanova Company and Incorporated, and Celeste is representing one of the major associations in Philippines, BAP. So the context of this webinar is dedicated to the Philippines market. I will be your moderator today. My name is Luis Junca. I'm representing also Skill, the company that I work for. It's a company specialized in technology, consulting, and IT talent. Skill is part of Aztec Group. It's a global technology leader with operations across 4 continents, including key markets like Philippines and others in Asia like Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Vietnam. We'll start today the opening session with Marta Vasconcelos from API that is going to start a small opening introduction to the webinar. Marta, please step in, just say some of your words for all of the audience and the speakers today, please.
Thank you, Luis, again for the moderation. And I would like to welcome all the guest speakers that are going to be with us today to speak about the Philippine markets. And IAPI is a Portuguese association that we help the Portuguese companies to go overseas. The idea with this project TISSOA is to help the Portuguese IT ecosystem to acknowledge several markets in the Asian countries. So today we are talking about Philippines, and the most important thing I believe would be the insight shared by Edith and Celeste, and also from Miguel. The know-how and the market research for the Portuguese SMEs to know this country and the potential that we have in here. If the audience would like to know more about the project, they can see it in the website, TISSOA, API TISSOA. We have the markets research and several information about all that we are going to do. And we'll have also in September a summit with the people from several markets that we are talking about, 7 markets in the Asian countries. So welcome and thank you, Luis.
Thank you so much for your words. We'll start following the agenda that all the attendees and the audience had access to. I will just highlight some of the context that are going to be presented today. Looking a little bit to Philippines, Philippines is today recognized as one of the leading hubs for IT BPM, also for shared services, and also for global capability centers. Today, we aim to provide Portuguese companies with practical and strategic insights into the Philippines ecosystem, and we'll try to cover the trends in digitalization, outsourcing, and key aspects of market entry and IP protection. Now, Miguel Corais is going to give us precious insights of the market with an analysis that will be also available on the event on TISSOA website for free downloading. Miguel, please step in. We wanted to see your analysis with insights of the Philippines market, please. You are mute, Miguel. There it
Okay.
is. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I think I'm sharing the screen. Everything is perfect, Luis.
It's perfect. All the
Okay.
presentations seen.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Um, I'm not sure. I'm in a hotel, and they are rebuilding something. I'm not sure if you hear the noise, but I will go forward with my presentation. But if you hear some noise, it's not my fault. Okay. Okay. Today we will explore the Philippines as a strategic market for Portuguese IT and share service companies within the broader vision of the TISSOA project. Asia is the digital engine of the world, and TISSOA is the bridge connecting Portugal to that future. My goal in the next few minutes is not to overwhelm you with data. The idea is to show what kind of information you can find in the market research that we did, and also to frame the opportunity, explain why the Philippines matter, and clarify where Portuguese companies can truly add value. Um, I'm trying. Okay. Okay. This webinar has four very practical objectives. First, to position the Philippines as a global BPO and IT BPM leader, not just in scale but in evolution. Second, to explain how the market is moving from traditional outsourcing to higher value digital service. Third, to identify real market gaps where Portuguese companies can differentiate. And finally, to discuss entry strategy that are realistic, scalable, and low risk for Portuguese SMEs. Let's start but why Asia and why TISSOA? And let's start with the big picture. Why Asia? Because it is where global digital transformation is accelerating the fastest across IT, automation, cloud, AI, and share service. Asia is also where global companies are structuring delivery models, adopting follow the sun operations, and integrating multi-regional teams. Why TISSOA? Because TISSOA exists to connect the Portuguese IT ecosystems to seven strategic Asian markets, providing intelligence, partnerships, and concrete access, not just theory. TISSOA focus on seven markets: India, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, China, and Hong Kong. Each plays a different role in the Asia digital value chain. Today, our focus is the Philippines, one of the most mature and international integrated IT BPM ecosystem in the world. The Asia Pacific region is now the fastest growing shared service and outsourcing and in ETO uh, globally, with project investments of $800 billion by 2029. Within this ecosystem, the Philippines stands out as a core delivery platform alongside India, while countries like Indonesia and Vietnam emerge as secondary hubs. This context matters because Portuguese companies are not entering a local market, but the global delivery systems. The Philippines is not an emerging market, it is a global leader. It represents 10 to 11 of the global IT BPM market, employs over 1.8 million professionals, and continues to grow rapidly. English fluency, strong cultural alignment with Western clients, and consistent government support make it a trust destination for global corporations. For Portuguese companies, this means reliability, scalability, and maturity. Importantly, the Philippines market has evolved. It started with a driven call centers move into IT service and analytics, and today positions itself as a high value digital service hub. The future is not about headcount, it is about outcomes, platforms, cloud security, AI, and data driven service. This evolution opens the door for specialized European partners. The market operates through three main models: traditional BPO providers, shared service centers, and global in house centers. Over 150 multinational GCCs already operate here, delivering not only support functions but strategic business process. This creates opportunities for integration partners, niche providers, and compliance-driven specialists. Demand today is concentrated in clouds, DevOps, cybersecurity, automation, and data analytics. Over two-thirds of IT BPM firms already use AI tools, and the shift toward outcome-based delivery models is accelerating. This is exactly where Portuguese firms with strong engineering, governance, and security capabilities can position themselves. Clients in this market are global. They are from North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific, rely heavily on Philippines delivery centers. Key sectors include banking, healthcare, e-commerce, gaming, legal service, and government, many of them highly regulated. This creates a natural space for European compliant service design, where Portugal has a strong competitive edge. Portugal does not compete with the Philippines, it complements it. Portugal brings European compliance, GDPR expertise, regulatory trust, and multilingual capabilities. Combined with the Philippines' scale and English-speaking workforce, this enables a true follow-the-sun delivery model aligned with the European standards. In practice, this means 24 to 7 operations, nighttime execution in the Philippines, daytime governance and compliance in Portugal. The result is higher resilience, better risk management, and continuous service for global clients, particularly in regulated industries. Despite its strengths, the Philippine market has gaps. This is a limit focus on European regulatory frameworks, GDPR by design process, and multilingual European service delivery. These gaps represent real opportunities for Portuguese IT companies with senior expertise and compliance-driven solution. The strongest niche for Portuguese firms include cloud security and governance, SOC as a service for European clients, hashtag and compliance automation, and multilingual European service desks. These are high value, defensible position, not price driven competitions. Entry should never be alone, and the Philippines offer a strong ecosystems like EBPAP, KBO Innovation Hub, DICT, and major university networks. These institutions are key gateways for partnership, pilots, and long-term position. For Portuguese SMEs, the smartest entry model are technical partnership with established integrators, extension of existing multinational clients, light commercial presence through innovation hubs, and participation in GovTech or donor fund projects. All of these reduce risk and accelerate credibility. Now, after we talked about entry models, it's important to highlight the success factors. First, they should have a clear value proposition, international certification and credibility, in this market, certification like ISO standards and security governance frameworks are not nice to have. They are proof of reliability, especially when selling into financial service, healthcare, or global expert enterprise. Third, strong documentation and also operational discipline. For it's important the cultural adaptability. Building trust with local partners requires understanding our relationship, timelines, and decision maker work in the Philippines. And finally, a long-term partnership relationship. The companies that win are the ones that enter with commitment, building partnerships, running pilots, and scaling step by step. That is exactly where TISSOA can reduce friction and accelerate credibility through matchmaking and ecosystem uh, and also in TISSOA we provide a market intelligence, partner access brokerage, um, business missions, and strategic positional support. The objective is simple: turn interest into structured, executable market entry. And to conclude, the Philippines is not a competitor, it is a strategic deliverable partner. Portugal is not a low cost destination, it is a trust European compliance hub. Together, they enable resilient, scalable, and compliant global service models. And thank you very much for your attention. And I will be available for your Q&A moment. And I finished. Okay.
Thank you so much, Miguel, for those precious insights. A lot of potential in Philippines market. Thank you for highlighting not only the potential but also how to succeed, recommendations, and also to emphasize that these are not competitors, neither Philippines or Portugal, but I see on your presentation a lot of complementarity between companies of both countries. Now we are going to drill down and go to a more deep analysis from the Philippine side perspective with our two speakers. We are going to start now a presentation that is dedicated for a key asset for a market entry, that it's intellectual property and digital asset protection in Philippines. Editha, our speaker, Editha Chanova, is recognized as a specialist in intellectual property and digital asset protection. She has an extensive experience supporting international companies entering in the Southeast Asian markets. She is the founder and managing director of Chanova Group and is working closely with the EU Southeast Asia IPSME's help desk. Editha, the floor is yours. Please start your presentation. We have all the audience waiting for it.
Luis. Okay, share. Okay. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the Southeast Asia IPSME Help Desk for inviting me to this webinar. My topic is intellectual property and business protection in the Philippines. The Philippines is signatory to the following treaties. I only highlighted maybe something that would be related to the IT and BPM business, like the Marrakesh Treaty for those who are visually impaired or otherwise print disabled, the Beijing Treaty for the audiovisual performance, the Madrid Agreement for trademarks, the WIPO Copyright Treaty, WIPO Performances and Phonograms Treaty, the Patent Cooperation Treaty for patent, the Rome Convention for the protection of performers, the Budapest Treaty. Oh, the Budapest Treaty is probably not related to IT, but who knows? Okay. the Paris Convention, of course, the Berne Convention for the copyright, and the TRIPS Agreement. So, with our membership to these, with signing these treaties, it means that there is sufficient protection for the intellectual property owners entering the Philippine market. Okay. Um, Now, these treaties are translated or imbibed in the main governing law for intellectual property in the Philippines, which is the Republic Act 8293, or the IP Code. Now, together with the IP Code, it has rules and regulations on trademarks. This is more on filing and prosecution of trademarks when you file it. Then we have revised implementing rules and regulations for patents, utility, models, and industrial designs for those who are filing patents, utility models, and designs. And we have the 2020 revised rules of procedure for intellectual property rights cases. Now, the IPOPHIL is the main agency tasked with implementing the IP policy of the country. So it has crafted its IP strategy called FIPS. And from 2025 through 2030. And as you can see, its goal is to position the Philippines as a hub for creativity, innovation, and collaboration, which certainly has the IP and BPM industry a major part of it. In terms of protection, we have been out of the U.S. Trade Representative Watch List for 12 years now. So this is because of strong coordination by the National Committee on Intellectual Property Rights on Enforcement. So the IPOPHIL has also created an IP Rights Enforcement Office, but this is limited to counterfeiting and piracy. So agencies like the Bureau of Customs assist billions worth of counterfeit goods. So the Philippines has a legal framework for IP protection, and we are also off from the EU watch list for violators of IP. So to combat online infringement, a memorandum of understanding with online platforms to implement stricter policies and 3-strike rules for sellers has been done. Okay. So under the IP code, or RA 8293, we have this list of intellectual property rights. You have copyright, trademarks, patents, utility model, designs. Utility models and designs come under the patents law. Then we have trade secrets or protection of undisclosed information. Plant variety has a separate law. Traditional knowledge comes under, also is being worked on. And geographical indication, we have already set up some rules on geographical indication covering those from the Philippines, but there is plan, or the IPOPHIL has a plan to submit a proposed law governing geographical indication. Now, circuit layouts also come under the patent law. Okay, so is the legal protection extended to owners of original work. So original work refers to intellectual creations, literary, scientific, and artistic domain. So you have books, writings, musical works, films, and photographic works. Computer programs are also included under copyright. So because of the Berne Convention, copyright exists upon creation, but to be able to enforce it, registration is desirable to facilitate enforcement. Okay. Now, trademark is any visible sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one entity with another. Okay. So we don't want marks or sound marks yet. But the IPOFIL has included this as a proposal in the proposed revision of the IP code. So example of trademarks in the BPO, BPM industry is Accenture. I think Accenture is the largest one. Okay, you have Infosys, then you have Teleperformance. I think this was formerly Teletech, and then TELUS. As you can see, the mark, for example, Accenture, it has a stylized word element, and you have some kind of a device, um, a device on top of T, which looks like an arrow. Infosys, it's a word mark, but it is stylized. Okay. In the case of Teleperformance, it is a combination of words and a device. For TELUS, it is simply a word mark. So it would depend on you, um, trade IP owners, to determine how would you like to be identified. Okay. Now, the Philippines has just created the well-known mark registry. So if you think that your mark is well-known and it has certain rules, then you can certainly apply. Okay. For trademark, okay, once you have filed your trademark or IP, what comes after? So how do you protect now your rights? So we have how then can you enforce it in case there are copycats or infringers? Well, first you can try sending cease and desist letter. But from our experience, most Philippine individuals or companies comply. They do comply, but there are those who just ignore it and respond only when sued. Okay? And then filing of an action can be done administratively through the Intellectual Property Office or the regional trial court if you want to go civil action or criminal action. Now, for patents, criminal action is only available on the second offense. So here in 2020, the Supreme Court issued its revised rules of procedure, which made it easier to file action. Like it increased the number of courts that can issue national search warrants. So there are 9 of them distributed all over the country, but mostly they are in the National Capital Region because that's where a lot of the infringement uh, is committed. Okay, and then they do not allow filing of extensions except for very exceptional cases. As you know, sometimes the trials take long because of so many extensions. And now also survey evidence is acceptable provided it complies with certain standards. So the IPOFIL has its own rules and regulation and administrative complaints for violation of laws, but it does use the Supreme Court rules when there is a gap. Let's say, for example, it's not available in the administrative law, so they use the Supreme Court ruling. Okay. Okay, for patents, it's an exclusive right granted for a technical solution to a problem in any field, So provided it is new, involves an inventive step, and is industrially applicable, allowing the owners to prevent others from commercially making, using, or selling the invention for 20 years. So computer programs are not patentable, but computer-related inventions are. So the IPOFIL has just issued guidelines for examining applications for ICT and computer-related inventions as well as artificial intelligence. So the application claim must clearly recite the features which serve to provide the solution to the technical problem. Okay. What is also good about administrative law is that it has a strong ADR component. So when you file an action, unless there is an injunction, they refer you to the ADR center where the parties can discuss possible amicable settlement of their cases. So it is cost effective and time and helps reduce the backlog of courts also and the ARPA own dockets. Okay. Now a utility model, we are very we have been recognized as in the innovation index, one of the highest, I mean, among the Asian countries, I think because of our utility model. So utility models is still under patent law. It is a technical solution to a problem and should be new and industrially applicable, except that inventive step is not required. Okay, but it protects incremental innovation, small innovation like tools, implements without requiring inventive step, and offering 7 years of protection. So a lot of the apps I think are qualified under utility models. So an industrial design is also under patent law. It's defined as any composition or combination of colors or any three-dimensional form with or without, yeah. And it provides what is protected is the special appearance and and uh, it should not be functional. Okay, so only the ornamental or aesthetic aspect and not the technical function, and that it must be new or original to be registrable. Trade secrets, we don't have a trade secrets law, but we do have cases and we can use the so we have one case law that is the leading case law. This is Air Philippines Corporation and Penswell. So here, the court did not allow the disclosure of the formula in a collection action. Okay, but to be able to qualify as a protectable trade secret, one, it must be used in business. Two, it gives the employer, it has commercial value or gives the employer an opportunity to obtain advantage over competitors who do not possess the information. And of course, and third, the owner of the trade secret must have made measures or taken measures to protect it as a trade secret. Okay. For geographical indication, we have just come out with rules on geographical indication, but covering local products. So these are example of GIs, and they are now recognized as they are registered as collective marks pending the approval of a different law for geographical indication. So we have the famous Guimaras mango. These are weavers. The asintibuok. Okay. For circuit layouts, so this is part of still under patents law. So this is the mask or the three-dimensional disposition. And we do have, the Philippines is a significant player in the global ICT market. So as primarily as a leader in the semiconductor business, which accounts for a large portion. In 2024, IC exports was about $16 billion. So it's difficult to find data on integrated circuit because the number of registered designs is low. But the country has focused more on IC assembly and testing rather than design, and there is shortage of skilled IC designers needed to create more designs. So I think Miguel has indicated ways of entering the Philippine market, but in terms of organization, the SMEs or the entity can enter the Philippine market, one, as a subsidiary of a foreign corporation, So if you have a foreign corporation, you can create a new corporation in the Philippines where the foreign corporation is 100% owner. So it depends on you. So we call that a subsidiary. Or you can open a branch. The branch would take on the identity of the principal. In other words, for example, you have a foreign company in, let's say, Portugal. It wants to open a branch in the Philippines. So the branch and the and the mother company are one. Okay. Or you can have a joint venture with a Philippine entity. Okay. And then, of course, the most common is through voluntary licensing, where you have a license agreement with an IT or BPM company, and you wish to assign them or license them your technology. You can do that by voluntary licensing, but there are rules on what cannot be included in the contract and what can be included in the contract. The most common complaint of foreign entities is that why does the Philippines insist on having Philippine laws applied to the license agreement? Well, it's the Philippines, so we have to apply our laws. Okay. And then, what are things to remember when entering the Philippine market? So, Philippines has sufficient laws to protect IT BPM. So, and then you just have to know all these regulations and comply with it. And then choose your partners well. Do a due diligence and find out their capabilities and their credentials. So that's important. And then I think foreign entities, while we have a lot of commonalities in terms of culture, there should be the foreign entity should be aware of cultural differences. So sometimes there are, how do you call it, disputes because of misunderstanding in communication. Okay, and then as I said, comply with regulatory requirements, labor laws particularly. We've got BPOs. The Department of Labor has received there are quite a number of complaints, employee-employee dispute on BPO and BPMs, and the common issue are on unpaid wages, health and safety violations. Okay. So that's it. Thank you, and I hope. Well, the time is very short. I hope I have given you enough. Thank you.
Luis, you are mute.
Thank you so much, Marta. I was really mute. Edith, thank you so much for your presentation. You really gave us much more than probably we were waiting for. You gave us an in-depth analysis of the rules, the processes that regulates a key and important asset for the Portuguese companies that aim to enter in the Philippines market. It's how to protect their intellectual property, how they must comply with all the rules that exist in Philippines, but also how to enter in the market. And you gave four great possibilities: the subsidiary, the branch, the joint venture with the Philippines companies, and also the voluntary licensing. So at the point of this webinar, we already had the introduction of Marta that presented API as a key organization that can help the Portuguese companies to easily and do the market entry with more security, with more knowledge, with the support of API. Miguel presented, of course, an important um, tools that the companies must have. One of them is a clear value proposition and also understand the market. Where are the gaps in Philippines and how Portuguese complementary companies can add value in the Philippines market? Editha had this layer that is very important, how to comply with the Philippine rules, how to protect your brand, your products, how to create patents, and so on. So now we are going to pass to our next speaker. Celeste Iagan is the Chief Operation Officer at ABPAP, that's leading association representing IT, BPM, and global capacity centers in the Philippines. IBPAP plays a key role in the definition of the national strategy for the IT BPM sector and promotion of the Philippines as a world-leading destination for outsourcing and digital services, and also to support the companies like multinational companies, international partners to succeed in Philippines. Celeste is going to present us in-depth presentation about the market in Philippines. Please, Celeste, step in. The stage is yours.
Obrigado, Luis. Thank you for the introduction. Boa tarde. Espero que está tudo bem consigo. I
Muito
hope I did
obrigado.
not murder the Portuguese language. It is beautiful. I just tried something, you know. So, my role this afternoon is to introduce to you the IT BPM industry of the Philippines. And I'd like to thank Luis for a very thorough introduction, and also Edita for making sure that the audience understands how they are able to set up in the Philippines. And now I'd like to show you the vast opportunities in the IT BPM industry in the Philippines. This industry, and there you go, there's the deck. So if you go to become a major pillar of the Philippine economy, this started some 25 years ago, relatively a young industry, and when we started, there were only around 2,500 FTEs in this industry. And fast forward to 2025, the head count is 1.9 million, which makes the IT BPM industry the largest creator of jobs in the country. In terms of contribution to the economy by service exports revenue, we have reached 40 billion US dollars by the end of 2025. And therefore, this industry is highly regarded and has the support at the highest levels. When you look at the contribution of this industry, it is very significant, 8.3% of the country's GDP. And if you kind of situate that to other IT BPM destinations, India, for example, it is the largest IT BPM provider. 5 million people in that industry, 200 billion US dollars in revenue. The GDP contribution of that industry to the India economy percent. Therefore, if Portuguese companies would like to explore doing business in the Philippines in IT BPM, you will be sure that there is really long-term stability and support in the government sectors that help set up a company in the Philippines. And probably just to give even more context about the industry, these numbers are kind of less important if you look at how this industry was able to really change the Philippines. I don't know who of you have visited the Philippines, but because of this industry, we have changed the face of many towns and cities in the country. If a BPO company establishes in one city, you will be sure that there are several other industries that will also grow, supporting the IT BPM industry. And this will be like a real estate development, transportation, retail, travel, and hospitality, making really the multiplier effect of the IT BPM industry significant. And it's like maybe 3 more jobs are created for every IT BPM job that is created by a company. And what is probably interesting is also with this industry, the Philippines has been put in the global map for professional services. We can really say that there is no other industry where the Philippines is a recognized global leader compared to the IT BPM industry. The next slide. Okay. What we would like to show you here is that through the 25 years of the industry's existence, we have sustained our growth from year to year. And we see that for 2026, there continues to be growth, which is higher than the global IT BPM industry growth. For our headcount growth, it is more than 4%. And for our revenue growth, it is over 5%, which are higher than the global growth of 3%, which also goes to show that demand for Philippine services continues, and that there is preference for Filipinos to solve the many problems that are brought up by customers globally. And this speaks a lot to the quality and also the strong customer service orientation of the Filipino worker. Let's go to the next slide. We have this very busy slide, but this is in no way complete. What we have tried to do here is to categorize the companies that have located in the Philippines into 3 buckets. The global capability centers, these are the captives or the shared services enterprises that have set up in the Philippines. The one in the middle are the third-party providers, and the biggest globally from the US to Europe and the Asia Pacific are already located in the Philippines, providing services to global clients. And of course, aside from the more technical functions, there are also companies that have located in the Philippines to take advantage of the creative talent that is available in the country. So altogether, we have welcomed the best and the biggest of these outsourcing companies to the Philippines, and the shared services companies or global capability centers. And maybe just to mention a few here. In the US, for example, you'd see JP Morgan as having located in the Philippines. They are 25,000 people in the country. When they started some 20 years ago, they thought that they'd have around 500, but having seen the depth of talent and the capabilities of the graduates, they were able to expand not only in Metro Manila, but in regional locations as well. For a third-party service provider, I'd like to share the experience of Concentrix. This company is 110,000 all over the country, with 53 sites in Metro Manila and several other cities and towns all over the country. And it continues to grow. This is the experience of many other BPO companies in the country. Accenture has around 80,000 people, and many have 50,000 or 20,000 range. So it really is a huge employment generator for the Philippines. And in the next slide, I'd like to show you, okay, the Philippines is home to companies all over the world, but I'd like to highlight that more than 70% of the companies, the investors and the customers and the clients come from North America. Around 15% from Europe and the rest of it from Asia Pacific. This, I believe, is a huge opportunity to present to Europe. There is a trend in the past couple of years where many European companies have come exploring opportunities both as third-party providers and the global capability centers as well. You'd see the middle graph, which is entitled Sourcing Mix. We are just showing you here that most of the companies that are located in the Philippines are third-party service providers. So these are companies that have, clients in many industries, all over the GCCs have their own company, 16% GCCs, and the rest of it are third-party providers. Now, in terms of capabilities and service that we provide, we are serving all of the industries. We have capability in BFSI, banking and financial services, which is the biggest slice of the clients that we serve. Healthcare is significantly growing. And definitely retail, technology, media, and telco are also strong markets for the Philippines. The next slide. Okay. You probably have heard about the Philippines being the contact center capital of the world. We have kind of been recognized as that since 2010, not only because of the sheer number of people that is working in our contact center space, but as I mentioned earlier, the quality of the people providing the customer experience. So the strong customer service really resonates with customers globally. So it is no surprise that our IT BPM industry, which is composed of 6 subsectors, will have a biggest share in the contact center and BPO space. More than 1.6 million of the 1.9 people belong to the contact center space. And global capability centers there, 270,000 FTEs there. And this is growing not as fast, but growing sustainably as we expect it. The Philippines also has a strong capability in IT and software. This is a lot smaller if you compare it with India, for example, in terms of their IT talent. But what we are able to promise you here is that it is really just a function of the size of the Philippines compared to India's population. But the skill sets that you need for IT and software, the people in that space are present in the Philippines. So if you plan to start an operation with a few hundreds, then the Philippines is where you can really do that. But if you need several thousands to start, then India will really be the best partner for you. And we don't consider India as a competitor, considering the huge outsourcing market that needs to be served out there. So healthcare, information management, most of the companies in the Philippines and these FTEs are working mostly for the US market. These are hospitals, clinics, healthcare insurance that have set up in the Philippines. And it is the medical professionals of the country that are employed in this space, registered Philippine nurses that are also US registered nurses, medical technologists, pharmacists, and many others. They are employed in this subsector. And I already mentioned earlier 2 subsectors that are more creative than technical to take advantage of the Philippine talent in that space. We are sought after by the biggest cartoon animation companies in the US and Japan to be able to provide their requirements. For the next slide, what we'd like to show you would be really to to highlight that the Philippines has gone beyond voice. We have made a name for services and customer experience using voice, but all of the non-voice services have already been established in the countries in the country with many roles and functions that can be delivered out of the Philippines. Next slide, please. Okay, so what we would like to show here is really the value proposition of the country. What is the advantage of the Philippines as an IT-BPM location? And the foremost really is the availability of a huge pool of qualified talent for the industry. We graduate more than 850,000 every year from various disciplines, and IT-BPM hires from various courses. This is a group of people that is English proficient, that is highly trainable, with the business acumen that is easily absorbed when training is conducted. This talent pool is able to really learn and be able to contribute right away to the operations of the company. And definitely it is important that this talent is digital and always geared towards upskilling and reskilling to acquire the best technical skills. For the next slide, what would like to show you is that aside from the availability of talent, infrastructure also continues to improve all over the country. So IT-BPM operations are not only established in Metro Manila, but in several other regions of the country as well. And this is very deliberate in terms of our strategy. There is a huge pool of talent in the regions, and because there's a law that recognizes hybrid work or working from home, a company that is located in Metro Manila may be able to hire from various regions in the country, and therefore as a strategy, we would like to make sure that infrastructure continues to improve all over the country. Next slide. Okay, we made sure that this is a short presentation, and what I have here is a summary of the value proposition of the Philippines. Certainly, the talent pool is exceptional with a strong customer service orientation. Second is the availability of infrastructure that continues to improve, not only in Metro Manila, but also in the regions. And this is not just the availability of grade A office spaces, not only internet connectivity, but also being able to reach destinations from airports, seaports, roads, and bridges. This infrastructure continues to improve as well, including, of course, hotels, hospitals. All of that would be part of the ecosystem that our industry tries to influence to be built all over the country. Among the important things as well is being able to provide strong support to the investors with what the government is able to provide in terms of incentives. So there is a law that provides the incentives to investors, and this set of incentives is very competitive in terms of what they are able to compare in other IT-BPM locations as well. And of course, part of the value proposition, I guess, is having an organization like IBPAC that is able to help handhold a company that would like to look at opportunities in the Philippines in the IT BPM space. And with that, I guess I can stop and answer some of your questions later. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Celeste, for the presentation. Really impressive scale, impressive growth. As you said, Philippines is not anymore only a contact center provider. The ecosystem is growing, and the number of FTEs on different areas of expertise is showing that, and even the distribution of that growth is across the country, not only centered in Manila, but along different cities. I noticed, and that's probably why these webinars are very important also to give more information to the Portuguese companies too, is that in all the logos that you shared, you presented an impressive use case from JP Morgan that was thinking on creating a team setup of 5,000. It's now more than 20,000, I think 20,000 employees.
25,000.
That's huge numbers. But in all of those logos, I haven't seen a Portuguese company there. So
Exact.
that's all
The
opportunities. So
opportunity is
that's
there.
why, yeah, indeed. So thank you so much, Celeste, for the presentation. We are now entering on the questions and answers moment of the webinar, where all of the attendees and the audience can, of course, share some of the questions that they would like to be answered by the attendees and all the speakers and all of the team here in the webinar. I had two questions that I would like to ask directly to the speakers, while the attendees will still write their questions if they wish. One of the questions was directly to Editha. So, Editha, you presented the regulation around the rules that must be known and followed by the companies that wish to enter. For your experience, huge experience, what are the key challenges that a Portuguese company should know or should face when entering the Philippine markets beyond the laws and the rules?
Well, to be successful in business, because indeed the Philippines has really grown in the IT and BPM, BPO businesses. So I think when choosing a partner in the Philippines, they should do due diligence to find out whether they would be compatible, and the credentials of the business that they are, of the partner that they are looking at, should be there. Of course, if they want to uh, put up their own business, they can certainly do that, and they just have to follow the rules and regulations. Because sometimes I think some European companies maybe just could be underestimating the implementing or the enforcement capability of the authorities. Um, the second is, of course, protecting their IPs. It is necessary that when entering the market, they have their IPs registered, very important, their trademark registration, because sometimes it's more expensive when defending your trademark against copycats. And copycats are there. They're there online, they're there in person, so they're all over. So better to have it registered. And of course, and then the other one is again on compliance with labor laws, because not only there could be cultural differences and there could be misunderstanding, and yes, I think many companies while working from home is not but I think they have to adjust, because it is working from home is here to stay. But because sometimes The usual complaints, at least from the Department of Labor, is that they are being forced to work 100% in their to stay in the company. I mean, be present in their work area. So I think they have to watch out for those.
Thank you so much, Edith, for your answer. It helped a lot on the question that I had. You gave us a lot of knowledge on what are the challenges, what the companies must take care if they want to succeed entering in the Philippines market. One question that I had for Celeste is, you know that AI is now on the top of all the conversations on the company's investments and decisions. How do you see AI and cloud adoption shaping the outsourcing trends in the next 3 years?
Uh, yes, Luis, I'll answer that question, but will you permit me to kind of respond or react to the remarks of Edita earlier? And this is a pitch for the
Totally.
IT-BPM industry. Um, in our industry, 100% foreign ownership is allowed. And companies that operate in this space are mostly export-oriented because the services are for the international market. And therefore, these companies are considered export-oriented and therefore 100% foreign ownership is allowed. And based on our experience, IBPAP has been there for 20 years. Before joining this industry, I was with government, with the Board of Investments, promoting the country for IT-BPM. And I believe that the entry to this industry is I will not say simple, but it is quite easy because of what has been established in terms of supporting prospective investors in this space. Aside from government organizations like the Board of Investments, the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, and many other investment promotion agencies, the Department of Trade and Industry, the ICT, these are organized to provide support to this industry because of its importance. And therefore, I would just like to assure our audience that the difficulty, if it is considered that, is well managed because of the support and the assistance that is available. In terms of compliance, this industry very factually is considered as very compliant. Some companies probably have been noted by DOLE as non-compliant in terms of safety and all that, but we can assure that IBPAP members are compliant with labor laws, and that is among the most important tenet for this industry. Compliance with the country's law. So I would just like to put it out there so that we help in terms of the decision making of these companies to visit the country. And don't just take our word for it. Come to the Philippines and we'll show you really how it works. We'll be able to provide a visit program, help you go through some of the companies that are already operating so that you know what is really happening and how these companies are operating. Okay, so that's done. I will answer the question. AI and cloud. This not new concepts. The industry has been has always been in the forefront of making use of technology and whatever is there to make operations more efficient, so that people are more productive, so that cost can be contained. So definitely, if these things will help operations and in terms of cost, then the IT-BPM companies are always in the mode of looking what is best out there. Certainly in terms of trends, the scale by which AI, for example, is being used continues to increase. And what is changing is the client requirements. If they say that AI should be used here and these types of technologies should be put there, definitely pricing is affected, and the types of services would also be adjusted depending on the use of AI and cloud. And the second point probably that I can make is that because of AI and cloud, we see this not as a disruption to the industry. It's accepted that there is always that change. So this is a phase of evolution that will only strengthen the industry, and the Philippines is ready for that change. And the third point probably is that this is not only the Philippines. It is actually global, and therefore this use of AI and cloud is not unique to the country, and all of the destinations, all of the companies are taking advantage of what these technologies and services are able to offer, as I said, for cost competitiveness, for efficiency, and for better customer experience. So,
Thank you so much, Celeste. First of all, thank you for the invitation for the Portuguese companies to visit the country and have, of course, ABPAP, all the support on any interest on the companies to explore the market with someone that really knows. Thank you so much, Edith, also for all the insights that you gave for intellectual property and everything regarding the digital assets protection. That it's very important for the companies that have their own products, their own solutions. Um, we will have at this moment on the top of your screen or in the screen a questionnaire. I would like all and invite all of the attendees and the audience to fulfill this webinar, this questionnaire, so it will help us on the evaluation of this webinar and your satisfaction side. We don't have at the moment any questions from the audience. I don't know if anyone here on the speakers want to make a question. Miguel, do you have any question, Marta, to any of the speakers, or can we close the session thanking to all of the speakers that was in the meeting, to APE, and also to Miguel, and also to the attendees?
I have a question with Celeste. This project the main objective is to allow that the Portuguese companies go to the market, to Philippines, okay? And as I mentioned in my presentation, it's very important that the Portuguese companies, when decided to go to international market and to go particularly in Philippines, that make some partnership and local partnership, okay? And in this project, for us, it's very important to have a partnership with IBPAP, okay? We think that
yes.
you are a strategic institution for us. And for us, it's important to make with AAPI and EBPAP like a partnership. And we for us, we will suggest to make a partnership with these two institutionals to allow that you can be a gateway for the Portuguese companies. There are other issues. We will organize also a brokerage event, okay? And for us, it's important to have your collaboration to select some local and potential partners. Of course, we can align this with your team, but this is something important and for us. And my question is, if you are, you think you are available to do that, and also if there are some Portuguese companies interested in Philippines, we can do like a first step with IBPAP. Okay, it's my question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Miguel. Yes, to all of your questions. partnership and collaboration is very welcome to IBPAP with AAPI. What we really wanted to do is to make sure that we have a strong partner in Europe to be able to help European companies, in this case Portuguese companies, to explore opportunities in the Philippines. And there is no better partner than AAPI. So if you think that the partnership should be sealed with a memorandum of agreement, or just this is just a shake of hands, then we're good. If you refer companies from Portugal coming to Philippines, if you just let us know the schedule of their visit, the objective of their visit, we will develop the visit program that will make sure that their objectives of visiting the country are met. We can first do a virtual meeting, and then they can come to the country. Another thing is we can also visit you one of these days. IBPAP organizes business missions to some of the major destinations, and within the first half of this year, we plan to go to Europe. And if it makes sense to drop by Portugal, let us know, and we'd be happy to include that in the program. So certainly a welcome opportunity that we can be more specific as to what you would like to achieve, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Celeste. So, thank you all for your participation. We hope this session provided actionable insights for everyone. So, I suggest that for a follow-up and next steps, please reach out to API. Also, to remind that the next webinar will be dedicated to Malaysia. It will be on 28th of January, so it's still at this month. So I invite everyone to subscribe to also assist to this next webinar in 28th of January for dedicated to the opportunities in Malaysia, shared services in digital economy markets. So thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure to be your moderator today. I wish you a great day for you all.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you.
Bye-bye. Thank
See you
you.
soon.